Hey, it's me, MLB. Here is part 5, the final part of Doyen, Miruko ex-male listener. Enjoy. Friendly fire? The guy asked, looking up at her. My boyfriend bit me, she said with a smirk, looking at you. Hey, I didn't know what I was doing. You know, if it had been me in my right mind, I wouldn't have aimed that low, you said with a smirk, and her cheeks flushed a little while she scowled, unable to roundhouse kick you for such a bold comment. The paramedic shook his head and reached for his first aid kit. Might need to take you in to make sure that there are no tendons severed, but it doesn't look like it's too deep, he said. And how are you, Doyen? You said something about in your right mind. Did you get hit with a quirk or something? Yeah, pretty nasty one. But my bunny here pulled me out, you said, giving her a smirk and an impressed look which she gave you the side-eye for. She did like you calling her mushy names, but not in public. She said she had a badass image to uphold to let the evildoers know she wasn't a pushover, but when you gave her little nicknames like that, it made her look soft, which made you call her those names even more, just to be cheeky. You had said that with thighs like hers, they should already know that she could strangle them with one crisscross applesauce, so she had demonstrated it on you to see if you were correct. You were. Did you want to get in the van? The paramedic asked you as he finished up cleaning Miruko's wounds and bandaging it. We'll be taking your, bunny in. Don't call me that, she snapped, her angry gaze snapping from the now terrified paramedic to you. Hey, now, take it easy, babe, you cajoled her. That ankle needs to heal. Don't go swinging it around now, will you? She grit her teeth and then got up and walked, on the injured leg, to the van and got in while you followed behind her and got in as well. The paramedics were quite chatty and talked to you the whole way in, which you were only so happy to do so. But then once in the hospital, in a room alone with your girl, you finally had a chance to talk. Hey, you said softly as you sat side by side, waiting to be seen by the doctor. Thank you for what you did back there. Do you remember anything? She asked, flicking one leg up over the other and crossing her arms across her chest, tucking them under her ample chest, and making that area pop, which drew your attention, naturally. You hummed, distracted by her pretty lumps. No, I don't, you said. Really? She asked. You then looked into her eyes, and now, undistracted by her bosom, you recalled what you could of the day's events. Actually, I do remember some stuff, you said, looking off to your left to recall what you could. I do remember being wholly fixated on chasing a rabbit. Kind of felt like a dream, you mused, squinting as you tried to pull up more details. She waited. And then I do remember getting hit a few times. I wasn't really sure what hit me though, you said, scrunching your nose up and rubbing across the bridge of it. It's hard to remember everything. You sighed and hung your head. But you pulled me out of that, you said, looking down at the floor. Thank you. Without you, I didn't do it. You did. I just called to you and you answered me. Never give in to weakness, she said, still with arms crossed under her chest. Slowly you stood up and turned to her, taking her into your arms and holding her against you. I know you don't like anything but strength, but I need you. Without you, I'm nothing. You are my strength. Stop with the mushy stuff, she snapped with embarrassment, trying to uncross her arms to wrestle her way out of your hug, but you only gripped onto her tighter. What if I say mushy stuff, but am stronger than you? I'll force you to hear it because you won't be able to get out of my arms, you teased, still fighting to hold her close. Let go of me, you overgrown pup, she shouted, but you silenced her by pressing your lips to hers the second that she turned her face up to yours. Kissing her was the only way to calm her down sometimes, and she slowly settled the longer that you held her like that. Later you headed back to the office of the man who had hired you to give him your reports. Miruko still had the bandage around her leg, but was walking just fine, and you wondered if she really was superhuman or super bunny. She never took any hits. She always seemed to be above them. Job done, she announced to the man when she had entered the room with you following behind, your eyes on her little bunny tail as she strutted out in front of you. And I didn't die, you added, still reeling from the fact that you could not have been there at that moment if it hadn't been for your girlfriend and her tenacious behaviour. So everything went as planned? The man asked. Nope, you said loudly, and Miruko smirked. Nope, but since when do things go to plan? The only plan that anyone ever needs is to get there and beat the bad guys. That's it, she said proudly. Well, I'm glad to see you're okay then, the man said. Was the precaution you asked for valid? He then asked you, referring to your stipulation about guns being turned on you if something went wrong. Yes, it was valid, and if it wasn't for my girl here breaking the protocol, I wouldn't be standing here in your office, you said. The guy looked guilty but nodded his head. Again, I'm glad to see you're okay, he said. More than happy to pay the double amount. You risked your life and I'm indebted. You've done a great job. Miruko smirked at you and you shook your head. With all due respect, it's Miruko who was the real hero. She saved me too, you said. Pay the money to her. Not on your life, Miruko said loudly. We did this as a team, Doyen. I'm not taking any pity money. That's so like you to say something like that, you chuckled. Okay, fine. Have it your way, babe. I will, she said with a stamp of her foot. Pay the money into the account number we gave you and consider it settled. She looked from you to the man. The guy bowed his gratitude again and then you both left. That's a decent sum that we got, you said casually as you and her strolled out of the doors together. Yep, and we're going to get a place together. I've decided it's time I moved in with my Doyen. You stopped dead in your tracks and she halted too and looked back at you. You serious? You asked with delight. Dead serious, she replied proudly. So I literally had to almost die for you to come around to us moving in together, you joked. You were never going to die, Doyen, she said full of conviction. You're too strong to die. This is just the beginning. You gave her a lopsided smile and stepped up behind her to slap her on the ass. Guess I can slap your ass in broad daylight now and not fear for my own life then? You asked cheekily. Her cheeks flushed red and she scowled with embarrassment. Don't think you're getting away with that, she shrieked, kicking out at you with her injured leg, which you dodged, chuckling as she started throwing attacks at you and you dodged them every time. You keep me on my toes. Ow! Watch it. Yikes! Okay, I'm sorry, you chuckled, running for the building exit to get outside. Come back here, you deviant! She yelled, causing a scene as you both fled the building. You're happily ever after coming for you in a chaotic way, just the way you liked it. And there is the end of the mini-series Doyen. I know it was short and sweet. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Next week will be another one-shot. I'm going to focus on doing more for the boys, just so that I've got, probably won't end up being an even keel, but if I've got at least a few different selections for our male listeners. I will be doing a Midnight X-Male listener as our next one-shot. Might be just maybe 2 or 3 parts to it. It's just a short one, but hopefully you enjoyed. I'll see you for that one then.